welcome to the Guitar Collection. Today I am here with one of my favorite guitars, which was made by one of my favorite double top makers in the entire world, the German luthier Carsten Kobs. Now first, I have to tell you that this guitar used to be owned by David Russell. Of course, the incredible Grammy-winning guitarist David Russell, who I'm extremely fond of, one of my favorite guitarists in the world and biggest inspirations. And so you can imagine the excitement it is to have this guitar in my lap and to get to know this guitar, on top of it being by one of my favorite makers who, if you go look through the channel here, I have an interview published with Carsten Kobs where I visited his workshop in Hamburg, Germany. And I actually tried out a guitar there that later was the one that David Russell took with him and traded in this guitar for. So I have to tell you that my memory is a little bit hazy here. I love that guitar. I love this guitar. They are so similar in levels, and what's so cool about that is they are 6 years apart, showing that Carsten isn't just making great guitars as of recently. He's been making great guitars, and they are incredibly consistent. And of course, this one is extra special because it was chosen by, of course, the great David Russell. Before I get into the sound of these guitars and what I like about them and what's so special about this guitar, I have to talk a little bit about the specs. This is a cedar double top guitar, very obviously cedar. It is a darker piece of cedar here. You'll see Carsten's beautiful rosette here, a really flat black tie block here with looks like one color creating this rectangle. You'll notice a raised fingerboard, which is very typical of these German double top guitars, similar to Matthias Daumann's guitars. And the most exciting part is turning this guitar around so you can see this beautiful piece of Brazilian rosewood that no matter what angle you lean this guitar in, it is just gorgeous, gorgeous wood. So look at those photos. You'll see some orangish red colors here. I mean, it's spectacular. It's so nice having a beautiful piece of wood that you can enjoy every time you pick up the guitar. Then talking about the neck of this one, it is a little bit more on the D-shaped side of things. Not incredibly thin, not incredibly thick, but I have to say, the action is super low. One of the lowest actions I felt on a guitar. And of course, anyone that plays guitar for long enough might recognize that there's always a consequence to low action. Like, you're going to buzz notes if you push the guitar really hard, or if you use a lot of rest stroke, lean into the guitar a lot. This will happen. But I have to say, it happens very, very surprisingly little on this guitar. That is nearly 3 millimeters at the 6th string from the 12th fret to the bottom of the string, and about 2.5 millimeters at the 1st string from the top of the fret to the bottom of the string. And of course, this is David Russell's setup. This guitar was set up for him. So it is really interesting to get to know that setup. It's just so easy to play. But I have to tell you, there's genius involved on Carsten's end here, because most guitars that you set up like this, they'll buzz too much for my preference. I would have to play it like this in order to not make it buzz, you know? But on this guitar, listen how I play this E major chord. I'm not joking around, right? I did it. I finally made that 6th string buzz. But that's what you can expect after hitting the 6th string by carrying it down into the guitar and doing a rest stroke with your thumb. That's going to happen. Anyways, gosh, have I even finished talking about the specs of this guitar? I talked about the neck a little bit, of course, the action, the headstock. You'll see the head design that Carsten's been using for a while, as well as some beautiful Scheller tuners with white buttons here. Of course, some of the best tuners in the world, made by Klaus Scheller in Germany. And here's a quick look inside the guitar. So you can see this very sparse bracing with just 3 braces that almost go parallel with the grain. And of course, you can see a little bit of that Nomex that goes through the top and some small braces placed here and there. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the sound. I really had to think what I was going to say about this guitar as I was tuning it up and preparing to record this video. And what I can say about it is that it is this beautiful blend between two different types of guitars that I often talk about. One of these types of guitars are guitars that are super heavy in these very loud overtones and sympathetic vibrations from other strings, where, you know, you play one note on E, right? And it sets the guitar free and just every string is vibrating like crazy. And sometimes that can be quite distracting, to be honest with you. And then the other type of guitar that I often talk about on this channel, and it's not black and white like this, but the other type of guitar I talk about are ones that are just so prominent with fundamental that it makes the guitar so easy to control, not necessarily forgiving, but incredibly easy to control. And then, of course, that comes with a sacrifice of it not being super cozy to play because you get exposed a little bit more. This guitar is right in between those two characteristics. And it's particularly surprising for me and interesting for me because there's a lot of characteristics about this guitar that are borrowed from Mattias Dahmen, which of course is one of Carsten's great influences, which is that heavy fundamental, super, super loud, of course, Nomex double top, really low main air resonance. This one's an E. But yet it has these really beautiful overtones that don't take over the sound, but let you just enjoy. And then, of course, maybe a little bit of a departure from the super, super loud and responsive double tops is how this guitar has incredible sustain. And I'm going to get to that test in a moment. But first, let me talk about the overtones and sympathetic vibrations on this guitar and demonstrate that for you. To my ear, I'm trying to demonstrate exactly what I'm talking about. Do you get this mixture of the low main air resonance, tons of fundamental, which brings clarity, of course. Being able to hear each one of those notes, the true sound of the notes, not the fifth or the octaves and these things that get confusing, but the true fundamentals, yet just beautiful sympathetic vibrations and overtones that just keep me coming back to this guitar. And this big mixture of like it being very easy to play, extremely powerful, extremely responsive, extremely colorful, and a natural sound is what makes this guitar one of the best in the world. It's really fantastic. And I think we like to believe that when, amazing players like David Russell or Manuel Barrueco or, Andre Segovia or Julian Bream for that matter, when they've played a guitar for a long time, that it changes the character of the guitar. Now that can be the case, and many of the luthiers that I trust the absolute most will tell me that does make a big difference. But I have to say, when I played that brand new Carsten Kobs guitar that he had just finished this instrument, that David Russell later picked up and traded this guitar for, I have to say that guitar sounded nearly just as good as this one, if not better. I'd have to have them in the same room to really know for sure. But I have to say it already sounded open. It already had all these beautiful characteristics. And does a guitar develop? Certainly. Does it develop as much as people make it seem like they do? I'm really not certain. Please make sure to subscribe to this channel. I love making videos like these. This is such a pleasure to get to know one of the best instruments in the world by Carsten Kobs. It's in remarkable condition. By the way, you can see David Russell playing this guitar in some videos on YouTube, as well as his wonderful wife, Maria, who's very, very sweet, and also a fabulous guitar player herself. This was a guitar that he used to practice on, especially during the pandemic. This guitar was built in 2019, so right before a very difficult time for a lot of people that music was a very welcoming part of. Let me go ahead and try to play Julio Florida by Agustin Barrios on this guitar. I think it'll show off some interesting characteristics. Has such a beautiful sound, such beautiful sustain, whether you're playing A, B, C sharp, D. I mean, all these are incredible, and you will be hard pressed to find many other double tops with this amount of power that have this kind of sustain. And let me just do the most brutal test ever on this thing. Starting on B. Notice I'm muting all the other strings. This little piece is titled Every Luthier's Worst Nightmare. I mean, with the exception of B flat in B, this guitar is spectacular. And those of you that know these super lightweight double tops that are extremely powerful, I have to put all of that before I say this. Those of you that know these types of guitars know how exceptional this is. Before I play some more musical passages for you, I have to remind you to please subscribe to this channel. It's something like 80% plus people that watch these videos are not subscribed. So I'd love to have you here. I'm always trying to get better, so please leave your comments about what you think about this guitar, about the way I presented it. Shoot me an email if you're interested in a guitar like this one, or you're interested in consigning a really great instrument. Definitely check out what I have at guitarcollection.com. I have new instruments coming in all the time. You can also subscribe to the website. That way you get notifications about new instruments before they become available. All that being said, congratulations to Carsten Kobs for building this guitar from 2019, ex David Russell. Cedar double top, the Brazilian rosewood back and sides, absolutely incredible. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.